times, and he was doing something odd. He was avoiding going somewhere or talking to somebody, whatever it was. And I just didn't understand it. I didn't know what he was doing. I said to Anne, like, "What's your man, you know?" And she was able to explain it down to the last thing, you know. She just understood him so well. I was able to understand that little aspect of his personality. And it was almost kind of a sad moment for me, because it was that moment that I realised that I was no longer Col's best friend. It was Anne. I'm not really known for my sentimentality, or certainly not as a romantic, but it's a rare case. I think that Col has found his soulmate in Anne, and you know, I've handed to him. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, no, we don't really do speeches in our family. Generally at all the events, you know, with Dad's 60 or Raymond's retirement or whatever it is, we'll do a poem. So as we finish off my speech, I decided to do a little poem and write a poem. So I wrote a poem with a little bit of help, only a little bit of help from my brother and my dad, and it's called Col Ann and the 5-Year Plan. Even the title rhymes, I'm pretty proud of that, you know. So, we are friends all our life, and it may sound absurd, but we never fell out or had a cross word. He's a very agreeable and affable young man who was robbed from under my nose by the Ann. We all went on holidays a few years back, while in Dublin Airport, Col came under attack. He fought back and went to give the fucker a kick, until he realised it was Alex Higgins that was giving him stick. There we were with our bleached blonde hair, not to worry about the black eyebrows, we didn't care. Col stared at the hurricane with his eyes full of fear. Alex looked him straight in the face and called him a queer. There was a time in Thailand when Col had discovered the hotel security man moving through our cupboard. I'm noticing a trend as Col went to give him a dig, but your man pulled out his gun and ran Colin off quick as a steak. There's a famous time that will go down in history when Colad's bells were winning a victory. To ask Eugene to use the toilet would seem impolite, so he made a dash for home for an urgent shite. This is true. He ducked and weaved and broke the speed limit. By the time he reached home, his pants had something in it. Arriving in Minnestown, the neighbours knocking to get in. Col was around his back, putting his chinos in the bin. Col is well known as the king of procrastination. If he met any deadline, he'd get a standing ovation. Any purchasing decision, he asked his mother, as you do. I wonder if Anne knows what she's getting herself into. I got an email from Col to say he was proud to tell me shifted in the Dean from Girls Aloud. The following Tuesday, they went on a date, and just like the day, she was an hour and a half late. Born on the same day, 22 years ago, and unless I'm mistaken, or getting quite slow, he was single and carefree and hadn't a care. Then he met Anne, and within weeks he had grey hair. They met in Dundalk back in late '03. It was rocky in patches, but they're here as you'll see. The proposal was memorable, with Anne on one knee. She screamed, "Marry me, Col, or you may set me free." Col had given in to the pressure from Anne, and a year later he's become an honest man. Preparations were difficult, but Col played little part. He worked 17-hour weeks. Where would he start? As best man, my duty was to organise the stag trips. Vegas, Rio, or Miami, Col said they're all kips. He said, how about Navan, Dundalk, or even the D? So we went to Madrid, and thank God it was up to me. After some years, we realised that Anne would be his wife, and the lads talked Christmas presents for the women in their life. Gucci handbags, Jimmy Choos, or maybe some jewellery from Frank. But Col chose an electric blanket, and this was no prank. Every afternoon after work, he's home and takes a break. A power nap for 2 hours, they both will take. Col runs marathons, triathlons, no matter how far. He bought a bike for £2,000, he drives a €100 car. I think you'll agree his service is great, apart from a blunder from Faulkner, Col's mate. Dancing along. I bet by midnight she'd be fast asleep and long gone. And so here we are at the wedding of Col and his soulmate. Thank Christ my speech is over. The rest of the night will be great. So can you all be upstanding and raise your glass to the most? To the bride and groom, we'll end the toast.